Hey everybody, this is Gokai Spartan. If you're new to this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. What I do is I make my own multiverse content involving Power Rangers, Kingdom Hearts, Game of Thrones, and various other franchises. I'm doing an overview video for my last couple of episodes of Power Rangers Altered. So, when we first head to Planet Nirvana, Aemon Targaryen needs to get his dragon back. Essentially because Astronema killed the dragon, and she kidnapped Alicent, turned her into Psycho Green, and they also kidnapped Helena. Helena has not been converted because for some reason the cash out switches don't work on her. Probably has something to do with her being a dreamer or whatever the case may be. But the point is, Aemon and the rest of them need to rescue their sister. And essentially, they go to the planet and they meet Rihanna. Once they meet Rihanna there, they find out after she resurrects Vhagar with her magic, because she's the only one that can due to Necro Valley existing in a certain section of the galaxy and hers being far removed, and her being able to bring back animals because she is the Gaia of nature. She's basically responsible for like plant life, animals, and things like that. So she brings back Vhagar, and on her planet, on one of her nexus points, those are the names of her cities, is Tommy Oliver. Tommy Oliver, if you watched the previous episodes, the first dedication I made for Jason David Frank, who I tried to dedicate a video to him a while back. But in that episode, Tommy and Draken destroyed each other. At least the Rangers, the Flawless Military, and the denizens of the universe believe Tommy was destroyed. But he was really on the planet with Rihanna. The reason why Rihanna didn't realize that it was Tommy is because she doesn't really like mess with the rest of the galaxy like that. She kind of stays to her own section and develops nature around that area. So like she has limited knowledge on like common shit like Power Rangers and Shinobi and Nobodies and shit like that. Whereas now the problem with this is Tommy is being possessed by Draken. Tommy is, because Draken is still in his mind and Tommy has amnesia. He can't remember who he is. So, every now and then Draken will try to take control. And now Tommy is basically flying throughout the galaxy. Basically because he doesn't know where he's going or anything like that. So, his powers is making him travel at light speed. Travel so fast that even speedsters can't really get to him and trace where he's at. And the Morphin Grid cuts off like any type of sensory. So, someone like Madara can't track him with the Sharingan. Charles Xavier wouldn't be able to use a mind link to get to him. Nor would someone like Goku would be able to trace his key. Basically, he's unfindable. And he's basically going through different sectors of the galaxy. While this is going on, I decided to flesh out my two goddesses, Mavis and Rogue Exile, because my story has rewrites. The reason why it has rewrites is because I've literally been telling stories since I was 5 years old, guys. So a lot of things that happened in my previous stories that I told are segmented into different universes. That's why the universe keeps on getting rewritten and stuff like that. But during the previous rewrite, it was just a mundane universe where Mavis had control over everything, and the fact that there was so much hopelessness in the universe, she was all powerful. But the humans bombed themselves to extinction. The reason why they did that is because realistically, the way this world is going now, guys, I think we're probably headed towards that direction because it's scary out there, man. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I don't like to talk about real world events on my channel like that. I mean, I do it every now and then, but because it's terrible out there, like the wars that's going on and just things in general. But let's just get back to, so essentially the world gets blown up and all these people die simultaneously. That's enough to wake Rogue Exile up, which her heart was building itself back up because her heartless was previously destroyed by the Gokai Spartan. Gokai Spartan is a self-insert character. He's not necessarily going to be in the story that much, but more or less the idea for having a character like Gokai Spartan is when you play a Kingdom Hearts game, there's always this silent, badass, some secret boss that you have to fight. Like you fight him, he shows up and he just tests your strength, and like you gotta be leveled up, you gotta be at level 99, all your stats gotta be maxed up to fight this guy, and like you lose. And I think the most ominous thing about those secret bosses in Kingdom Hearts is they're quiet, they don't say anything. Like when you first fight Xemnas in the boss fight, he only speaks with subtitles. And young Xehanort, when you fight him in Birth by Sleep, I'm gonna be real, at the time I didn't even know who young Xehanort was. Like I knew who he was, but I didn't think that hooded person was him, because young Xehanort has the Keyblade and the hooded dude was fighting with two lightsabers. And my headcanon, it was either Obito or Madara because I'm a multiverse head, but as soon as it was young Xehanort, my headcanon is still probably Madara because, yeah, he does have those attacks, but if y'all was going to give him a Keyblade, what was the point of having him fight with the dual lightsabers? Anyway, I don't want to even get to that. But the point is, the Gokai Spartan is essentially a secret boss, and he basically defeated Rogue Exile's Heartless, and her nobody was still like forming. Since she's so powerful and she has the first light of the universe, which was the light casted that brought about everything in existence throughout the entire multiverse, the light shows her. She has the light. The light itself is a different entity. It champions its own wielder. Rogue Exile is the current champion. Just like in the canon universes, whatever main character is in that is who that light decided to champion in that universe. But since everything is melded together, Rogue Exile is the one who bears that light. But in like a separate story, so Goku would be the light, or Yugi, or Naruto, or Luffy, or Jon Snow. they would essentially be the likes of those respective canons. But since this is my canon, it's Rogexio, and that light can transfer to other people. But she has the first light of the universe, and her being a nobody takes a little bit longer to create. And once she was a nobody, she joined Organization 13. When she joined Organization 13, now I always thought it would be fun because playing Dream Drop Distance was hilarious because they done baffled the entire Kingdom Hearts story. They threw that nobody shit and threw it completely out the window. It was like, hearts? Yeah, we had them. Y'all had them shits all the time. We was just capping y'all. Zion, yeah, we ain't shit. We just wanted y'all to go through with our evil convoluted plan. We ain't give a fuck. I'm keeping it 100. We really didn't care. We honestly did. And that's just the vibes I got. And in my mind, this is how I felt about Kingdom Hearts 3. I feel like the invention of Master Xehanort kind of undermines all of what Xemnas and Ansem went through to a certain degree. Because Xemnas was the main boss of Kingdom Hearts 2. This nigga was throwing entire NYCHA projects at Sora. Sora had to dodge rental buildings and stuff like that. People were probably in those buildings. There were no people in those buildings. I would like to think that they were. But they weren't. But the point is, Xemnas felt like an actual threat. When you fought Xemnas, he was flying away on that dragon. It just felt so... That was a climactic battle. Master Xehanort, I like Master Xehanort. But hear me out. This is how I honestly feel about the character. It's like a super ultimate villain. I like him in small doses, but I like his underlings more because it's more or less... They are fabric. They literally exist because this asshole decided, hey, I don't want to die. That dude over there has a nice body and a Planet Fitness membership. But he's stupid. He doesn't need that brain. My brain would be really good in that body. I think I'm gonna do that. And after that, I think I'm gonna duplicate myself a couple of times. Make a couple of sexier versions of me. I want a Goku and Vegeta looking. I want one with a Widow's Peak hairline, yeah, and one with sexy hair with a white and black zebra coat, yeah. I'm even gonna go back in the past and get myself when I was younger, before I started looking chopped. And then I'll even keep this original body. It's gonna be like Formie walking around, bro. Yeah, that's like a great idea. You should totally do that. Yeah, Brig. I'm glad I thought of it. I thought of that shit, but you couldn't, honestly. Xigbar is a crazy individual. Xigbar is a character that I had to touch up on and change over the years due to the fact of Kingdom Hearts 3 threw a monkey wrench in my plans for Xigbar. Because in my original Flawless Military story, he was there, but he's more or less a simpleton. Not really a simpleton, but he was a regular member of the organization. He was like, and Rogexio, I originally created Rogexio because I wanted to give Xigbar a girlfriend. So that was his original purpose. But now, since Kingdom Hearts 3 made this nigga the main fucking bad guy, besides the mom of Kingdom Hearts 3, Master of Masters. Besides that, so it's like, it's different. So what I decided to do for Xigbar is, I'm going to touch more on him, he's going to show up more. But that scene where Rogexio loses her heart and becomes a Heartless, when Gloria, I should say, loses her heart, because that's her original name, Gloria. And throughout the reset, she has various different names. Calypso, that's one of her names, that's one of her identities that she had in one of the resets. I'm dabbling with the ideas of whether I should incorporate, say they were the Powerpuff Girls as well. But if I were to dabble in that idea and put the Powerpuff Girls in her past timeline, she would be Bubbles, Mavis would be Buttercup, and Rihanna would be Blossom. But they have past lives, essentially. But in this timeline, she was Gloria. And Gloria lost her heart because of Xigbar. She didn't know who this person was. She didn't know who this person was who released her heart. And the reason why Xigbar did that, because in this universe, Xigbar read the Book of Prophecies. And when he opened the Book of Prophecies, everything, or the words just started to change because he wasn't supposed to open the book. So when he opened the book, what was written in that book got erased and something else was written. And he read that, and that's what he thought he had to do. And it basically was the recipe to create God. Basically find the chosen one with the first light and extract their heart. And in time, the most powerful being will be created. So that's what Xigbar decided to do. Track down the person with the first light. So he tracked Rogexio down, took her heart, she became a Heartless, and for 10 universes straight, she obliterated, killed, maimed, and slaughtered almost everybody. Like, it was a horror show for 10 years until Gokai Spartan came and ended that Heartless. Not 10 years, 10 universes. But yeah, so after that, and at some point I will do past stories with Rogexio's Heartless as the main bad guy and what was going on in those universes. I'm just right now in this current storyline right now. So basically, now she wakes up and she finds Mavis, and Mavis is basically, she's not going to bring those people back. And Rogexio and Mavis has two opposing views of how God his ship is supposed to be used. Mavis is selfish. She doesn't believe mortals need all that help. She believes mortals should fend for themselves. That's why the world she ruled was kind of like ours. Because, like, people pray to God and they pray, and sometimes their prayers don't get answered. Sometimes it works, but mostly through their own merit. But it depends. I don't want to get into religion too tough into this. But with Rogexio, she's the opposite. She actually would listen to a prayer if she could hear it. If she could hear the prayer and she could take enough time to consider what is the right option to do something with it, she'll actually fulfill your desires. But the thing is, one thing I like to do is play with God, because in the Bible and many other tales of God, God is a jealous God. He wants you to worship him and only him alone. And there's multiple gods and stuff like that. So this idea with Rogexiel, I decided she's jealous in the sense where it's not where she wants you to worship her as a god. She wants you to worship her like a mother, like a caring figure, because she feels as that the connotation of God is a little bit too harsh. So that's why she goes by the All Mother, and she says she's going to mother the universe, because she wants to be a caring force for the multiverse. Her problem is she honestly has a thing for evil fucking men. Her all her sisters do. That's why you see Rogexiel with Madara and Littlefinger, and you see Mavis with Qyburn and fucking Obito and Xehanort and niggas like that. Because, like, I like to play with the idea of gods are flawed individuals. They are flawed creatures. Zeus. We don't talk about Zeus. Oh, no. If you know, you know. Poseidon, what I'm going to say is Medusa. Basically, the gods are flawed. So I decided my goddesses could be just as equally as flawed as these gods, but just in a different way. Whereas Zeus was the way he was with men, Rogexiel, well, with certain women, Rogexiel is kind of that way with her men. I don't fully explore the sexuality of these goddesses that much due to the fact that I want this story to be mainly focused on the battles and the clashes between the factions and stuff like that. Because the truth is, I tried to explore this in my first episode with Madara and Rogexiel and Xigbar, and it just didn't feel right. I honestly feel like I'm better at writing an adventure story than I am at romance. So I'll sprinkle some romance stuff in there. Like in the latest episode, Sora basically gave Kyrie a ring. He said he wants to spend the rest of his life with that woman.
Hey everybody, this is Future Gokai Spartan. I got kind of lazy with the editing, so I'm not going to be doing it scene for scene now. I'll just be explaining the story from here on out. For context, this video has been on my computer for a while since I posted 8, and I even redid this video, but I haven't gotten a chance to edit it because I've been too busy editing my episodes and various other things and drawing and getting to the fan projects and everybody else's ranges, so I didn't have time to fully edit this video. So from here on out, it'll just be just regular footage.
And I'll get to Sora in a second because this video probably gonna be a long one, guys. Because when I do these explanation videos, I usually don't stop until I feel like I explained everything. So, all right, I'm going too much on the goddesses, so let me just tie them up real quick. Long story short, Rogexiel and Mavis fight for the supremacy. Rogexiel wins, and when she rewrites the universe, she decides to, have Mavis and Rihanna have dominion over various things. Mavis has dominion over darkness, because in every tale there always has to be a Hades, a devil, and all of that. So she decided for Mavis to be that, essentially, and Mavis isn't too fucking happy about that shit. She feel like she was judged and misplaced, and she didn't realize it until a little bit after the Star Force Rangers got their powers. That's when she started to have her nightmares and started remembering the fuck shit that happened to her. But the reason Rogexiel did that is because thousands of people fucking died, and you didn't do shit to save them, and now I have to rewrite entire fucking reality just so these people can live and have a circumference of a decent life. So it's like that's what's going on with them. So Mavis ain't too happy about that. Plus, on top of that, if she was going to work with Rogexiel, she would want to have some equal power. So she would rather have some say-so on what goes on. So when the SPD Rangers kidnapped Morty and Tintin, she wanted to pop off. So, her darkness, she's the Ebony Queen of Darkness, she could kind of emit like a dark signature. Her being in the proximity to certain individuals make them crash out. That's why Xion, Sayax, and Madara was so willing to attack SPD, because her influence were there. But Beatrice and Dexter wouldn't be affected by that, because Dexter's literally fucking Dr. Manhattan at this point. And he would have, and Beatrice, she's a super scientist, so she would have she'd have microbes and drugs and shit that would basically make her be immune to anything that would actually fuck with her person. So those two would be straight, but everybody else around them wouldn't be. But it would depend on how much malice the individuals have in their heart. For instance, Xion, in my universe, my Xion is a bit different. I wanted to go a little bit dark with Xion. So she was essentially a mob boss, and she works with people like fucking Doflamingo and shit like that. So she has a no tolerance policy, so she's willing to pop off. Sayax is literally Sayax. The nigga gets angry when the moon is out, so he's ready to fight. And it's Madara Uchiha. But Axel, and then the thing I like about Axel is, and he's the conscious of the organization. He's the one that will actually tell everybody, guys, I think this is not a good idea because this and that and the third will happen. Everybody will just look at that and go, we're gonna be arrogant and stupid. And Axel will just have to sit there and just be like, fuck. But yeah, he's because that's kind of the role he had in Organization 13. The organization was like, all right, I want you to go find Roxas, either bring that nigga back alive or dead. Wait, alive or dead? I thought that was our mans. I don't give a fuck. That nigga betrayed us. But come on, Zenith. I said what I said. Now go. But basically, so now when it gets to the scene with Rogexiel, and the Lord Varys. Originally, Mavis grew Lord Varys' junk back, and Lord Varys was utilizing his junk in Peter Baelish's establishment, giving Littlefinger more money than he cared to. And after a while, Varys got tired of doing that shit. So he went to Dexter and Beatrice and got his junk removed. And once he did that, he was able to think clearly and shit, and he started to see Mavis for who she is. The reason I decided to do this is because realistically, as much as I like to alter characters, sometimes I switch the slot. I just make them go through a certain phase and then they just back. Just to keep things a little bit interesting. But Varys is always the most observant one in the room. And if he was under someone like Mavis, if whatever was tethering him, magically speaking, was untethered, Varys would pick up on shit immediately. So that's why he came to Rogue Exio like, yo, I think your sister a snake, bro. The way she acted, this, that, and the third. And Tommy is still out there throughout the entire galaxy. Now, one thing that happened is Qyburn betrayed the Flawless Military. The reason why is because the Flawless Military won't allow him to crash out the way that he was. Beatrice has strict fucking rules in place, and she is the one who is basically telling niggas what to do. Rogue Exio is the ultimate say-so, but Beatrice ultimate... Like, if Rogue Exio was president, Beatrice was ultimately vice president. Yeah, there's Littlefinger and Madara, but Beatrice is the more moral compass that would even chastise niggas like that, too. Due to the fact that somebody has to keep these fucking crash outs in line. And Rogue Exio's not always gonna fucking do it. So sometimes it falls down to, because I like to think as powerful as Rogue Exio is, it would be funny if all these all-powerful individuals were just getting bossed around by this really smart bitch with no superpowers. And like, you know, and Rogue Exio hired people for these reasons because they have certain qualities that she don't actually like. All right, you're smart, you're manipulative, you're strong. Let's get to work, basically. So Xemnas wants to take off everybody's emotions and turn everybody into a nobody, because that's just one of the plans that Xemnas sort of. Xemnas has a lot of plans and shit. But Beatrice ain't gonna have that shit because that's just gonna have dire consequences. And like they're just ultimately not going to do that. But like I said, Qyburn was with the Flawless Military. And the thing about in Westeros, and I wish they would have did more with Qyburn in Game of Thrones, because they had a lot. That character had potential. That nigga had a lot of potential to be something more great. Like it would have been great. Like I seen this and I forgot the YouTube I think it was the Three-Eyed Theorist. It was somebody who was discussing Qyburn. And they basically said it would have been more interesting if Qyburn would have been experimenting on the people in King's Landing and turning them into like zombies, and then they would have had like a crisis for the Unsullied and Daenerys and Jon Snow's forces to deal with, which would put the innocents of King's Landing in trouble, and it would give Daenerys a little bit of a problem. And basically it would give her a moral quandary to burn the city, to come to that decision rather than just give them to that decision because she ain't getting no dick and her friends got ahead of this shit. But essentially, Qyburn could have been utilized more, especially since, you know, he was fascinated with the Hand of the White Walker. And my universe is the perfect place for Qyburn, because there's nothing but science and magic here. Qyburn could just sit there and learn and learn and learn. And that's exactly what the fuck he did off screen for all that fucking time until I decided to put his ass back in episode 7. Because he was in the first episode. You've seen him there making the fucking zombie Gregor Clegane. But he appears in episode 7, the very, very first episode. Y'all gotta go all the way back. Go through my catalog, and when you see the Soul Calibur stuff and it hits an end and you start seeing Flawless Military, Power Rangers Altered stuff, that is the very first episode, guys. Go check it out, because I came a long way since then, and it's just this project, it's changed and it's took on a lot of different forms, and it's just gonna keep on going. But basically, he works with Mavis, and the reason why, because without Varys, Mavis kind of needs another smart nigga to do shit for her. So she just decided, hey, what about that other guy, Qyburn? And Qyburn just decided to go with this because now he can work freely without Beatrice and Rogue Exio looking down his fucking nose. Dexter also be on some fuck shit with his science shit too, because his sister gets on his nerves as well. Because Dexter, he actually is just as powerful as Rogue Exio. Yes, like I said, he's on some Dr. Manhattan shit. We just don't explore Dexter's power because Dexter wants to be the most low-key thing in the universe. He don't want nobody to even think about him. The less people mention his name, the better for Dexter. But Dexter, he's wild. I made a video for Dexter. Go check it out. Where Dexter's basically building cybernetic Rogue Exios just in case the day ever come where he needs to fucking pop off. But yeah, Dexter, him and Rick Sanchez, because like I said, Beatrice is the one giving out all the rules and shit. So like the scientists, the real scientists that want shit to progress and don't have no fucking morals, them niggas are gonna be like, let's go to a different lab and work over here where that redhead bitch ain't fucking looking at me. Basically, that's basically what the like scientists like Dexter, Rick, and Qyburn would do, because they're all mad evil scientists. They all experiment on people. All of them are egregious. Qyburn builds the mountain, egregious. Rick, entire universes gets transformed. I'm Mr. Frondles. Remember that shit? Nigga, and Dexter eradicated the entire SCP Foundation in that universe, not in the actual SCP Foundation. Whatever's going on there is going on there. But in a duplicate universe, he did that shit, and he's basically fucking a conduit of all sources of energy. These niggas is fucking unbelievable. But yes, so now let's get back to the chase for Tommy, because Tommy is still out there. And now we need to call them. So Rogue Exio does her mind link to talk to the Power Rangers. They're like, hey, yo, Tommy out there. I probably should find him and get out there before somebody that we don't like gets a hand of him. And the main nigga that they don't like is there. Da-da-da-da. He kills rangers for a living. He is a evil menace, Cthulhu threat from the deep. He will show you nothing but penance. He doesn't give a fuck about your feelings. He doesn't give a fuck about your religion. He will send you any god you believe in. His name is Ikagan, and his fiancée Madoko, his wife. Yes, Ikagan and Madoko. My nigga Ikagan and my bitch Madoko. They are the ones who find Tommy first. And what ends up happening is Lord Draken remembers them because in his universe, they're basically like his best friend. He drinks with these niggas while blowing up entire civilizations. So, Lord Draken's like, yo, Ikagen, what's good? My nigga, what's good? That's not what he actually said because that's what the Ikagen, he wouldn't actually say that, oh, I'm just black and stupid. I just like making jokes, guys. But the point is, my boy, Ikagen doesn't know who the fuck he is, but he knows he's Draken. So he knows he's going to be useful for something. So he wants to keep Draken alive. Madoko just wants to blow his brains out. Madoko is plain and simple. But now that Ikagen wants to keep Draken alive, now Madoko kind of has to work around that plan because he's the boss and Madoko's aye. So we're not killing him. All right, so fine. But what ends up happening is the Operation Overdrive Rangers end up showing up. Well, not Overdrive, just the Mercurian Rangers and Rangers from his planet. Now, like I said, a lot of previous Super Sentai suits have not been utilized in Power Rangers. So just like in Megaforce, I like to utilize them as well, just differently. Because in Megaforce, y'all gave us transformations with no explanation. Y'all gave transformations, no explanation, and we were just supposed to eat that. In my universe, they're just here to get bodied. So they, not entirely, some of them will be different suits. Like for instance, if you look at the Lannisters, that's Live Man, and I just revamped that. I'm gonna redo the whole Game of Thrones stuff, because like I said, I picked up my pen again, guys. I'm drawing. And like, so a lot of things are gonna be getting redesigned. There's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff going on. But basically, now the Mercurians, they fight Ikagen and Madoko. And Ikagen and Madoko, they transform into a new form. Well, that form that Madoko transformed to, she also transformed into a version of that form when she was fighting the Aquatar Rangers and Destroy All Power Rangers. So go back and watch that video and check that one out. But basically, Madoko and Ikagen have all new forms. And they lay waste to the Mercurian forces. They lay waste to them, and Tommy escapes because Tommy sees like, oh shit, the niggas is getting bodied. Okay, I'm getting by Lord Draken, and Tommy doesn't have his memories, so he's just like, Lord Draken was in control, so he just decided to dip. So what ends up happening is now, Billy, so after that, Ikagen basically is mad because Tommy's gone, so he essentially, he basically tells, Madoko comes up with the idea, yo, let's just tell all the villains that Tommy's out there and have them deal with it. Because there's thousands of villains out there. And they do that. And most of the villains, they're going to either deal with Tommy or they're going to continue doing whatever the fuck evil shit they were going to do before. So, now, Billy fights Qyburn and a bunch of mountains. I wanted to give Billy a battleizer. All of the Power Rangers will get new Zords and new battleizers and new equipment and all of that. That's what's going to happen in this universe. Like I said in the previous video, y'all going to see the most powerful version of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers you have ever witnessed. But yes, basically, Billy lays waste to that, and Qyburn uses System Down to turn off Billy's battleizer, because we play Yu-Gi-Oh! In this universe. And Lexius comes, and he's trying to eliminate Qyburn, because Xemnas sent him to eliminate Qyburn. Because Xemnas was like, oh shit, that nigga hasn't pulled up in a week, and on top of that, he's over here fucking with Westeros? Nah, kill that nigga. Then basically, that's Xemnas' mindset, and Beatrice was like, we could have just brought him in and imprisoned him and stuff like that, and Xemnas is like, nah, kill that nigga. I've been running shit way longer than you. It's debatable, because if we equate a length of time that Xemnas has been in the organization and Beatrice has been with the Flows military and Promethea, if we include the Shattered Grid timeline, it's debatable who's been in charge of shit more. But Beatrice was an intern in Shattered Grid, so. But the point I'm trying to make is, now, after that, Tommy meets Adam, and Scorpion shows up, turns into a new form, and gets rid of Adam. The reason why that happened is because, guys, a lot of Rangers are going to be dying in this universe. I'm just going to let y'all know. Some of your favorite characters might not make it. I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. Some of them, Adam was one of my favorite Rangers. I love Ichigo. But I'm going to keep it 100, guys. After that Destroy All Power Rangers video, I'm running out of Rangers to body. And this universe needs to be as fucking destructive as possible. And lives need to be taken because the villains I have are on some Dragon Ball Z shit. Speaking of Dragon Ball Z, Frieza. Tommy speeds past Frieza real quick. And Frieza speaks of his role in the story. Because in the previous video, Frieza's ancestor wipes out Ikagen's home planet. It's explained what happened to Ikagen back then. So Frieza has the mentality that that entire race of aliens are dead. But Zarbon, and this is a nod to the Bardock father of Goku, because when y'all invented Beerus, y'all basically changed the directive of Frieza. Y'all basically made it so it was Beerus was the reason that he attacked planet Vegeta instead of it being Zarbon. And I did not like that shit one bit, because Zarbon doesn't have anything. Bro, the nigga's still dead. Frieza gets to live. Majin Buu gets to live. Cell gets to get a new form. But Zarbon and Dodoria and the Ginyu, well, Captain Ginyu came back. He got some love. But the niggas are dead. And the only time they're coming back is in the fucking Dragon Ball video games. And bro, that was the only thing relevant because bro, it made it seem like, but bro, because when Zarbon basically told Frieza, like, because this is how I remembered it. Zarbon was like, Lord Frieza, we eliminated the planet. And Frieza was like, well, it took you 3 days to eliminate that planet. That's rather funny. If I would have sent those monkeys there, they would have eliminated it in 24 hours. And then Zarbon, you know, he don't want to die. Frieza has a short temper of killing his henchmen. He probably just going to get on Frieza's good side and be like, those Saiyans are strong indeed, too strong. One of them might be able to challenge you. No, not at all. And then Frieza remembers the legendary Super Saiyan shit and like, Lord Frieza, you do remember the legends of the Super Saiyan. Bro, it was Zarbon was the reason that Frieza blew up that planet. It wasn't fucking Beerus. So in this universe, Zarbon's the one who tells Frieza like, oh yes, those Cthulhuns that you thought were dead were still alive. Because I killed off the Ginyus, they're dead. But Zarbon and Dodoria are still alive. I like Zarbon and Dodoria. They're great henchmen. We should have got more from their characters. Fuck. Zarbon should have got a new form where he's even more fucking beautiful. It has fucking blast that shimmer when he fucking attacks. Nigga should have rainbow fucking blast. Give us some LGBT representation up in here. Fuck out of here, bro. Nah, son. But bro, what ended up happening now? So Frieza is a looming threat in the background. He may appear to threaten the Cthulhuns, not just Ikagen and his people, because it's not just Ikagen, guys. He has a whole race of people and stuff like that. Ikagen has own. This man is a father. This guy's a father, guys. I'll get to that in the future too. But yeah. So now Sora ends up on the Destiny Islands. I mean, not Sora. Tommy ends up on the Destiny Islands. He meets Sora there. Now, I always wanted Power Rangers and Kingdom Hearts to do a crossover. Power Rangers is over here crossing over with Fortnite. Hopefully Fortnite gets Kingdom Hearts in there. I just want to play a Zigbar. I just want to shoot niggas in Zigbar. But fuck it, give me a character creation. Say, I don't play Fortnite, guys. Is there a way you can create your own character? Because I just want to throw Rogexio, Mavis, Rihanna, Dexter, and Beatrice up there and shoot niggas. Like, so if there's a way for me to do that, let me know. But basically, so now, you know, Sora basically explains that, because now that I'm touching on Sora, I have to explain how the fuck Sora got here. Because Kingdom Hearts 3 just gave us something through a monkey wrench into our plans. Because Sora disappeared. He disappeared and he went to Quadratum. And we don't know what's going to happen in Kingdom Hearts 3. That's why I said it's a canon shift. Therefore, whatever happens in any other canons can still happen, and my multiverse can just be its own thing. That's what the canon shift was made for. So when Sora was placed in the canon shift, he was placed back on the Destiny Islands. He was teleported from Quadratum to the Destiny Islands. Now, for Strelexia, I kind of want to wait to see if we're going to get a trailer and see what... I really want to wait for the new game to come out for me to actually do more stuff with the Kingdom Hearts stuff. Because we Kingdom Hearts fans, we've been starving. You think Power Rangers is starving? Kingdom Hearts. Oh my god, we are famished. But yeah, man. And Vanitas was sent over there. So I wanted to do... I decided to use a different AI this time. This time I used Kling. And I'm experimenting with various different AI to see which one is good for battles and stuff like that. Because I want to perfect this AI stuff. Like, you know, a lot of people, they look at AI and they be like, they don't want to do it for whatever reasons. But I don't give a fuck about none of that. And I just want to... if it's going to exist, I want to know how to use it. Point blank. But basically... So I used a different AI for this one. And I used Kling, and I think it came out a little bit better because it has the feel of Kingdom Hearts, more of a panoramic-like battle system, whereas Vidu, the fights do seem a little bit stiff, which is why I kind of really like to switch over. I don't like Midjourney sometimes, because Midjourney likes to skimp on the explosions and the destruction, and like sometimes I'll be putting the goddesses in there and they say their titties are too big, and I'm like, oh my god, I hate it, bro! But yeah, basically, but long story short, I freaking put the fight in there. So Sora and Vanitas, they get into a fight, him and Tommy, and of course, Vanitas loses. It's Tommy Oliver. It's Tommy. He's not gonna fucking lose. The fuck? It's a Green fucking Ranger. That's Sora right there. It's two fucking main characters. It's not like you're the Overdrive Rangers or the Mega Force Rangers. It's not like you're somebody that I could just dismiss and just write off and give the villains that fair W. No, I can't do that with Sora and then Tommy Oliver. No. They get to beat their people up. Kimberly even got a little shout out. Like I said, I've been picking up my pen again. I drew that Megazord and I used the AI to recreate it. Because I always figured that, what if the Zords just combined on their own? Like, think about it. If you really want to think about it, Jason has the Tyrannosaurus, the Red Dragon Thunder Zord, the Omega Zord, and the Gold Pyramid Zord. That could combine into some shit. Billy, he got the Unicorn Zord, the Triceratops, the Wolf, and the Shogun Zord. That could combine into some shit. Rocky. Every time I say this nigga Rocky's name, I laugh. And the reason why I laugh is because of Henry Resilient. Henry Resilient has made a video about Steve Cardenas, and I'm not going to basically say anything about it. Just check out Henry Resilient's channel and check out. He basically covers all of the drama on the Power Rangers and their real life stuff and all of that. And more or less, I know I watch his content sometimes, and it's like I know more because of this man. I know more stuff that I should not know, and it has completely altered my perception on these characters somewhat. But yeah, check out Henry Resilience channel if you want some tea on the Power Rangers community, man. But basically, yeah, Rocky can get his own Zord because Rocky has the T-Rex. I'll still include him with the T-Rex, though, even though he never piloted it. He had a Tyrannosaurus Red Ranger. So you would get the T-Rex Zord. You would also get your Lion Zord from Zeo. You would get your Red Dragon Thunder Zord. You would have the Ape Zord and your show. Damn, Rocky. On some real shit? Rocky Megazord about to be Aki as fuck. This nigga got the... Bro, I'm about to draw that, bro. Damn, I killed that nigga already. Is he dead in Shattered Grid Redux? No, he is not. Okay. So, yeah, but Jason's there. Timeline differences. Alright. But Rocky, yeah, his Zord can look Aki. Imagine it. The golden lion of the chin on the chest, and you could just have like the legs of the Thunder Zord and probably the arms of the Shogun Red Megazord with the shoulder pads and the Tyrannosaurus headpiece, but we could warp it a little bit and make it its own thing. Yeah, that could work for Rocky. Let's get to Zack. Zack is tricky because Zack only has 3 Zords. Zack has the Mastodon, the Lion, and the Omega Zord. So we would have to make something with that. Trini has the Sabretooth, the Griffin, and her Omega Zord. And fuck it, we'll give her the Black Dragon as well because she has Black Dragon armor. We'll just alter that shit around. And everything is canon. Everything in Power Rangers I've ever fucking seen is canon as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, everything is canon. So Trini can do that. Like I said, I made Kimberly's Zord already. Catherine's, her Zord would be slightly different than Kimberly's because she would have access to all of Kimberly's other Zords, her being the Pink Ranger with that power coin. Yes, I understand she only had the Crane Zord, but the way I look at it is since they never gave her the Die Ranger or Kaku Ranger suit variants, she would still have access to Kimberly's Zords. And since like the scientists are like so smart where science and magic are indistinguishable at this point, Billy, Dexter, Beatrice, Qyburn, Rick Sanchez, essentially she would have her own pterodactyl. Her and Kimberly wouldn't share Zords. They'd have their own Zords. So Catherine's Zords from the Mighty Morphin plus her Zeo Zords, because the Zeo got their own like versions of the Shogun Zords, like their own Robo versions of that kind of, and you know she got whatever that tank shit is, and then the Turbo Zords as well. Yeah, Catherine Megazord gonna look tough. Shit, damn, I'm going on about these Megazords for a while, guys. But yeah, it's just because I'm excited to actually draw and get this stuff. I'm just so excited about this project. I have so much passion in me to make this shit, bro. I will get back to Shattered Grid Redux, but I'm gonna keep honest, guys. My heart is in Power Rangers Ultimate, bro. That's where all my characters are, and that's where I get to go buck crazy. Shattered Grid Redux, I'm going to continue it because I still am determined to retell that story and all the stories from the Boom Studios comic books. But now, let's get back to the plot. So Kimberly fights Scar Armor, and Obito basically sends her back to another dimension so she can't get to Destiny Islands. Basically, because Obito works for Mavis, because like I said, the goddesses, they partake in the liking of evil men. So Obito is one of these evil men that Mavis likes. Well, he likes Mavis. The thing is, Madara and Obito are a little bit different. Madara does his own fucking thing. Like, yes, he works for Rogexu, but Madara is very confrontational individual. He'll even argue with Rogexu. Obito is a fucking simp. You gotta think about it this way. Look at how hard he went for Rin. And if a fucking baddie like Mavis would actually have him in his clutches, Obito's just gonna be around her precious little finger, essentially. But basically, now that's going on with them. Ansem is another one that works for Mavis because, like I said, watch episode 1, guys. Gotta go all the way back to my videos, right at the end of my Soul Calibur stuff, and right at the beginning where that stuff, where my Power Ranger stuff, my Altered Universe stuff happens. That's where you gotta go. Mavis, she and Ansem were a thing in that video. Now, I ain't really touched on it because, like I said, I don't like touching on the romance aspects of things because I'm more better at doing battle shit. Although I'm going to slowly address certain romance stuff because I've already started with Sora. And it's more easy for me to do it with Sora because the groundwork for Sora and Kyrie is already there. It's right in our face. These new relationships and characters are just new. Like, for instance, one relationship that is continuing is Amon and Naminé. The reason why is because I don't like Naminé with Riku, bro. Because on some real shit, Riku did not want that, bro. Riku was chilling, bro. On some real shit, Riku was Sigma male. Riku ain't thinking about no hoes, bro. He ain't thinking about these bitches like that, bro. And even though I'm going to give him a girlfriend, I already made the design for that. I had like a poll to see if people wanted to choose for that. But it wouldn't be Naminé, bro. Like, bro, on some real shit, y'all kind of fucked it Naminé over by creating Shion. Because now Shion is with Roxas, canonly speaking. And in my universe, it's debatable whether she's with Roxas or Sayax. I'm not even sure where I want to go with that. But Shion's existence basically throws Naminé because that was Roxas's girl. Naminé was Roxas's girl. And then y'all created Shion. Now Shion's Roxas's girl. So who did Naminé got? Riku Replica? And y'all killed him off. Y'all killed him off. And y'all basically said, yo, I'm not gonna make it, my nigga. Yo, Riku, you think you can hit that in my honor? Yo, think of me when you piping that, bro, please. Bro, like, nah, son. Basically, that's nasty. Nah, Riku, like, I'm good. So essentially, what I did was Riku just said some shit about her art because Riku's like hyper realistic when it comes to certain things. And me and my friends got this joke where Naminé's art looked like a 5-year-old drew that shit. Like she looked like she having these chicken scratches and shit like that. So I decided to put that in the story too, where Riku was just shaming her art. Like like he just said that, yo, you need art classes, and Naminé took that shit incredibly personal. Now she showed this artwork to Eamon, and Eamon lied straight to her face and said it was the most beautiful thing he's ever fucking seen. And he showed, and truth is Eamon's lying because he's detached from it, and like he didn't want to hurt her feelings and shit like that. Like, you know. So I don't know. I just like Naminé and Eamon together. But the point is, now that freaking, where am I right now in the damn story? It's explaining this shit. Yes, Ansem and Mavis. Ansem is working with Mavis because he was always working with Mavis since episode 1. And I barely put Ansem in the story for the reason to incorporate him a little bit more later. So he's working with Mavis, and another reason why is because he doesn't want to work with Rogue still because he doesn't feel like he has control over that. Like Ansem feels like he has control over his faculties with Mavis. He doesn't feel that way with Rogue Xemnas got his ass beat by Rogue Like Rogue put their hands on him. So when Xemnas came back to life, he said, "I'm going to do everything in my power to not make that bitch angry, but I'm going to secretly train and try to become strong so I can one day swing at that bitch. But I'm going to hold my tongue." Young Xehanort is different. He just doesn't want to grow up to be the same version of himself that he was, which is why he's happy Rogue was here so he can have a different future. And since he's in this timeline, he doesn't go back to this previous timeline. No, he's stuck here. This young Xehanort is stuck here, so he gets that. In fact, the episode when you see Master Xehanort in the future when Jin Scott is fighting against Vaughn and those armies of Zenkaiger bots, that Master Xehanort is the young Xehanort from this timeline that would grow into that Master Xehanort. That's why you still see Dexter there in the electric form and Madara in his Sage 6 fast form, because once Madara hits that form, he's not aging anymore. He's just going to look like that for the rest of his fucking life. But basically, Lexaeus was turned into a Heartless because he was sent after Kyber, and Mavis turned him into a Heartless. I did this to display Mavis' power because I realized up until now Mavis hasn't fought or done anything with superpowers. Rogexiel's done the most, and Rihanna had short bits here and there. So I had to do something for Mavis, and she's going to get a little bit more in the future as well. So now Ansem has been sent to attack either Sora, Tommy, or the woman that they love, because Mavis is extra petty. She doesn't want to attack your friends. No, she wants to attack your heart. She wants to attack the people that you love. And Inkworth, I hate this nigga so much, but that's about to change because now he came back with an alternate personality after the Cosmic Fury and the Super Cosmic, damn, that's a mouthful. Super Cosmic Fury and the Star Force Rangers eliminated him. So he came back, and Ikagen, talking shit like usual. This time Inkworth ain't having it. This ain't the same Inkworth. This ain't episode 1 through 10 Cosmic Fury Inkworth. Inkworth, you fool, is out of the window. No, no, no. I will not be treated like that shit no more. You gonna fucking respect me or we gonna scrap. Plain and simple. So Ikagen, that's his little brother. He loved that little nigga in the low. So Ikagen's mental process was like, oh shit. Little nigga actually talking back to me. Impressive. So he just gonna humor him at this point, like, and plus Ikagen's thousands of years old. Like Cthulhu's change personalities all the time. It just haven't happened for Inkworth yet because Inkworth is literally way younger than Ikagen. Inkworth is only a measly 75 years old. Yeah, that's supposed to be old in our timeline, but for Cthulhu's, that is literally teenage years. Not even. That's like kindergarten. Another reason why I say that is because if you look at Cosmic Fury, Bajillionaire and Squirnelia, they said they were thousands of years old or some shit like that too. I vaguely remember them saying that. So they are the same race. Cthulhu's look different. They all look like Ikagen and Madoka. Some of them do, and some of them look like various different alterations. Hell, I even made a freaking husband for Bajillionaire, Mugenair. I'll go get to him in the future. Hey, Itachi, yeah, she could get Monster Reborn more than us. I just remembered Itachi bodied her. This is why the villains got resurrection powers, bro, because damn, I'm gonna have to. This is why Yugi and them are going to look for Necro Valley, because it's getting to a point where the villains it's getting to be a lot of villains and the heroes are slowly getting wiped out. And Beatrice realizes that if we don't get rid of Necro Valley, we can't even the odds and bring back the people that were dead. Because right now, there's a lot of dead Rangers, and most of them are freaking absent silhouettes controlled by Ikagen, because Ikagen could just summon them like the Dark Chi Warriors from Jackie Chan Adventures. So yeah, like, they gotta do something about this. And since this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic, who better to call than Yugi himself? Now, Seto Kaiba, he wanted the technology to deal with Gozaburo. I'm still going to touch on what's going on with Kaiba, Gozaburo, and the Musketeers, Mai, and all of that. But as it stands, Kaiba paid them because Kaiba's going to... He's Kaiba. He's going to give you... He's not broke. He's going to give you the money. He's going to fund you, like he said. But he probably ain't going to pick up his phone after that. He's probably just going to go back to... Because you got to understand, this is a man that wants to beat a nigga in Yu-Gi-Oh! So that takes priority over a lot of things. Yeah, he wants to get back at his father, but hell, who knows? Nigga might be arguing with his dad. And the format just changed. We got whole Genesis format right now. Kaiba gotta take mad shit out of his deck, bro. We got a point system. Kaiba like, damn. Skill traits at 100 points? Fuck. Tikaboo 100? Summon limit 100? Infinite Impermanence is at 7? Damn. So Kaiba got Yu-Gi-Oh! Shit to think about at times. And on top of that, he's just gonna fuck with his own niggas more or less. He hired the 3 Musketeers because, granted, they were adversaries, but he respects them for their like prowess and shit. They were essentially like knight soldiers that work for Dark. So he's like, okay, I can use them. And the way I look at it is, if Kaiba Corp hired Mai in the virtual world to test out their system, then they probably got that bitch number on speed dial to just she probably just be getting gigs from Kaiba Corp. So that's why Mai would be there. But Beatrice would want Yugi and his friends to deal with it, because Beatrice sat down and watched all episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! And she said, you know what, I probably think Yugi and his friends should probably be on that battlefield too. Because like if the Crash Out switches get to Aleister, Val, and Raphael Mai or Kaiba, because all of these niggas have darkness in their heart, we have a problem on our hand. Like, not to say that it can't happen to Yugi and them, but Beatrice is going off the logic of friendship is magic, because in most of these universes, the power of friendship usually be the deciding factor and the reason why niggas be winning. So Beatrice took this shit into account, and she like, you know what? I think it would probably be a good ass idea if I actually hire somebody that's actually friends than having Kaiba bring this group together on his own. Fuck it, they could both exist. That's what Beatrice's mindset. She figures Kaiba could do his own thing because that's how Kaiba operates, and he's better operating that way than forcing him to be with a team that niggas that he don't like. Well, he would just have to team up with them anyway because they're going to be on the same battlefield. But Beatrice really wanted to get Joey, Tristan, and Taya on there because the dual magic for Yugi specifically is friendship based. So, like, not to mention, like, I just wanted to make designs for their characters as well, guys. So that's the real reason. But essentially, yeah, now they've been sent to get rid of Necrobell. And damn, this video was basically an hour long. So that's essentially the overview for this. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and watch all of my videos all the way from the beginning. Look through my channel and my history and go to the first episode all the way to where we are at now. Because there's a lot, and I break it up into different things because I'm trying to tell the story, I'm trying to get it out so people can understand it. Because people come in at very late parts into the stories and they don't get to see all the other stuff. I've been working on this since February, and I would really like for people to actually get to the older stuff so they can see where it came from and where it's at now and what I'm going to do in the future. So if you liked anything I had to say, or if you just enjoy my content in general, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh yeah, quick update for those wanting to be Power Rangers, please comment which Ranger you want to be, what team you want to be a part of, what affiliate you want to be a part of, and link your email in the comment section so I can get back to you personally, so we can just talk that way, because we can plan out the storyline that way, because I have my ideas what I want to go through it, but if y'all have ideas for your characters that y'all want to use, I want to consider that, and then I want to work together so we can make something that we both can enjoy. So, alright, like I said, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and may the power protect you.